2015 Cadillac Escalade, 158,500 on the clock, 158,500 miles on the clock. It does have a low tire, which is right there. Okay, let's get after it. Oh, my son's texting me. All right, customer states there's a grinding noise coming from the rear. Now, y'all listen to this. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, this is my vehicle. It just went straight to grinding. And I looked at the outside, obviously without taking the tires off. I just looked at the outside, kind of looked through the wheels, and the outside looks good. So that kind of tells me that either my caliper might be locking up or the caliper slide. So I went ahead and ordered the cross-drilled and slotted rotors. So it sounds like, yeah, it definitely sounds like one of them is not releasing all the way or whatever. So anyways, went ahead and ordered the cross-drilled and slotted rotors. Those should be in here in the next few days. And so then I got to find a good time to put these on, because I'm a baby and I don't like working in the cold, and it's winter time and my fingers don't tend to work very well. So we'll come up here, we'll get this stoplight. If we don't get the stoplight, right after it is a stop sign, and kind of listen to it again. Yeah, and then right before it stops, man, you can really feel it grinding and kind of jerking just a little bit. Yeah, it's bad. Okay, let's try it again. It stops just fine. It's just making that noise, so we got to get that fixed. All right, so check this out. Now you can really hear it because we're kind of in between all this stuff. So we got this window down. Oh, that's horrible. Let's do it again. Okay, let's fix it now. Yeah, so that was horrible, huh? That was bad. All right, so again, 2015 Cadillac Escalade. We're going to do the brakes on all four corners. Already jacked it up. We're getting ready to rip off the wheel. This is what we got. It's from Detroit Axle. This is a pretty heavy box. But here, let me set you up and I'll show you everything that's inside. Hang on. Okay, so here's everything that comes in the box. We got the rear, drum, and disc brake. And again, these are cross-drilled and slotted rotors. They are also vented like most of them. And then this is where your emergency brake is. Your front brake, your front disc comes with your front brake shoes. No, your front brake pads with hardware and lube. Rear brake pads, hardware, lube. Then it comes with one can of brake cleaner and some Dot 3. I don't know if we'll need that, but whatever. Back in the day, you could always just turn your rotors and put some new pads on, good to go. But I went with a slotted rotor on my 98 Z28 Camaro, and whenever I did that, I never went back. In fact, that's whenever I went to the drilled. Alright, let's be honest, nobody really cares about the front. It's not the one that's making that horrible grinding noise. I want to see what the rear is doing. A low tire. Fine. Oh! There's a screw right there. That sucks. What's the first thing that you guys notice on this? Oh. It's a grinding noise. Y'all see these little clips? Usually that is the first, or usually that's a good indicator that these have never been taken off. Unless maybe they did it at the dealership and they put these back on. I don't know. But I got 155,000 miles on this thing. It's hard for me to believe that this has gone 155,000 miles without these ever being off. Really hard for me to believe. But that's what these are. They put these on at the factory. They push those on there, and then that holds the rotor from falling off going down the assembly line. So first thing I do is I rip these off. I'm gonna look at this together. Pull this thing off. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's bad. All right, let me pull this bracket off. The caliper bracket, and we should be able to pull this drum off. So give me a second. Get a better look. Okay. So if you look at it with me. Look at that pad. Dang. So I never heard this squeak. Y'all should know how I feel about if you know me, you know any kind of squeak or creak or especially grind. I can't handle that. So I never heard this squeak. But I looked at the front brakes not too long ago, and they look pretty good. So I didn't even really look at the rear. You see there's still, it's gone. So let's look at the back. Oh yeah. Yep, that's gone. So the first time I heard it grind was about 2 weeks ago, and I really hadn't driven it all that much. So that happened fast. Alright, happens to the best of us. We all get busy. You see all this brake dust and grime and all that stuff, I'm going to go ahead and clean that up. And it actually looks like that seal might be leaking just a little bit. It's not dripping or nothing, so I'm gonna leave it alone because I ain't got time to do the other. All right, let's brake clean. Now here's something that I do. I blow this out first, and then I use the brake clean. I see a lot of people just using the brake clean, but if air will get this out and then brake clean comes in and gets the rest out, I figure that's a better clean. And again, we're checking the slides. Check the grease, looks good. Looks alright. And it's not sticking, nothing like that. Get it out of there. Alright, go ahead and put these back on. Oh, so I ran out of room on the card, sorry. There are, this is your caliper bracket. Now, this is your hardware, and you'll need to take these off. They just push off. First, make sure that the new ones that you have match up, because I've had them not match up correctly, and I've also had them not even come with the new brake pads. So make sure you match them up. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't come with a new set, or if it's a wrong set, first make sure that the pads themselves are correct, and the rotors are correct. But it's better to use the old one than obviously not have them at all. So next thing you really need to do is, so there's a few key things that you want to wire brush. One is the kind of the faceplate of your hub. Also, whenever you're checking out your hub, make sure you don't have any weird noises or grinding or anything like that. That can potentially be a problem. On your caliper bracket, you're just going to town with it like this. And you can probably put this on a wire wheel if you want to, but there's really not a need to get that aggressive, unless it's really bad on yours. But on mine, kind of fortunate, don't need that. The other thing you need to pay attention to is your little caliper slide bolts. And just kind of look at it. This one doesn't look horrible. It does slide back and forth nicely. It doesn't get bound up or nothing. Gotta check this one. That does look a little dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this slide off, and we're going to put some more grease down in there. Since we're doing one, we're going to do both of them. So go ahead and pull this out, drop it on the ground. Get your brake cleaner. And you don't got to make this thing spotless, but if there are any rust pits, anything like that, you definitely need to make sure you get that out. So, see, looking pretty good. Now you get your brake caliper grease and just slop it on there. And I tend to do it more down close to the bottom, because as you push it in, it'll go up to the top. But make sure you don't have any pieces of dirt or nothing like that. Like there's a piece of dirt right there. Okay, and you'll just slide that on in there. There you go. And it's not necessary to get the old grease out unless it's unless you feel that it's really bad. And if that's the case, you can just spray some brake cleaner down in there and you can get it out eventually. And it will do that if you put grease down in there, because there's an air pocket and you're trying to compress it, but it'll eventually come back out. Okay, so whenever I got these, I think it was this one, there's a little bit of a bend right there, just in packaging and stuff, so just make sure you kind of straighten that back out. These will clip on just like this. There the air pocket goes. You go on there and just like trying to get close, but not too close for you. There you go. Okay. Back in my mechanicking days, I had an old SAE guy, mechanic. He always put brakes on. He never had any comebacks, nothing like that. But he used one of these Rolock discs just to kind of roughen the surface. Came in there with brake cleaner and you come through. And this is an old one, so it's probably about as fine as I can get. So once he does that, oh, where's my towel? Drag it, wipe it all off. That's one side. Grab this and throw it up here. A lot of people won't put this this disc bolt back in, and honestly, it's not necessary. But I mean, if you got it, why don't you use it? And it also helps make it a little bit easier whenever you're putting the caliper and all that stuff back on. So not gripping it on there super tight. Now this is a T30. That's about as high as I go with those. Okay. I'm going to show you out here because it's going to be easier. You're going to put your caliper slide grease right here, all in this little pocket thing, on both sides and on this side as well. That's gonna allow that pad to go in and out and not get bind up. So I always put that on last, or right before I put the pads in, just because I don't want it grease getting all over the place. And you're not putting that much anyways, but it's just how I do it. Okay. The caliper bracket. I got this is a 18 millimeter. And you can Loctite it back if you want to, or not. Got that on there. One last thing that I do. Just rub them together. Don't know why. That's just what I do. This is the other, the front and the back. Okay. So this is the back pad. See how it's flat right there? This is the front pad. See how it's curved? Like that. This back pad. There we go. Now, last thing we need to do is we need to shrink that down, because these pads are a lot thicker. Even though the old ones were not too bad, they've all collapsed down a bit. So, okay, so ran out of memory. So this is on the phone. So just if it looks weird, that's why. So that's how much fluid we have. We're probably going to be pushing this through and out and all that stuff. So we're going to take that lid off, and it's probably just going to drain out. I might just suck some out just to give us some room, and then we can always put more back in. So, all right. So I'm compressing this caliper. All I'm using is just some big channel locks, and we're just going to squeeze that together, and we'll probably have to scooch that up a little bit, squeeze some more until it's all the way collapsed. You do want to pay attention to your boot and make sure that it's not cracked and leaking and all that stuff. Okay, I know some of y'all might be interested to see this side. This side did have the little retaining clips too. So you can see there's still a little ways to go on that. So yeah, I wonder if that piston was getting stuck on the other side and caused it to wear out quicker than it should have. But whatever the reason, I got it unstuck and together, so we're ready to go. All right, but I thought y'all might want to see this side too. So yeah, it's not as bad.